Hey crafters, spring is springing all around us, and of course that means it's time to celebrate with some clothing upcycles, some thrift flips, some fun things to just refresh wardrobes a little bit, mix and match with some stuff you already have, and keep our creative juices flowing as we celebrate a brand new season. Now, I just got out of the thrift store and I found a few pieces that I really like, but they could use a little thrift flipping. I definitely have some tie-dye in mind for a couple of them, and I think we might be able to maybe do some little embellishing. I don't know. Let's hit the craft store and maybe get a few tie-dye things, a few bits and bobs, and then I'll get home, show you the things I got today, and also some things I've been collecting over the last, couple months in anticipation of spring and summer coming. And let's talk through some ideas for ways we could maybe thrift flip a few of these things, maybe make them a little more fun, a little more unique, and get them ready for this next season. Let's go. Okay guys, our candidates for today, we have 2 dresses and a scarf. Woohoo! Hey, let's take a look at this one in the back first. This is kind of a midi maxi length. Kind of got this like really stretchy rib material. It is mostly rayon with a little bit of spandex. So I'm hoping it will take the dye pretty well. Now, I actually really like it the way it is. I like this gray a lot, but gray doesn't love me as much as I love gray. So I'm thinking maybe I could just over dye it a little bit, like kind of tint it towards another color. Maybe like pull it towards maybe teal, or like maybe like denim blue, maybe even purple, just to like turn the gray slightly into another color, like a grayish version of a blue or a grayish purplish. I don't think I want a really bold pattern on this. I think I just want it slightly a different color. And that would be good enough for me. Oh, hang on. Let's back up a little bit. Now, this green kind of tunic length or really short mini dress I actually found in the men's section. So, good note to self. Always check the guys section. This guy's, Old Navy. This one is cotton, so of course it's going to dye really well. Olive green is another one of those colors that I love it, but it doesn't love me back. Does not look good on me, so I'm thinking, what if we over dye it? Just a bit. Let's make that green go more towards the cooler side. I'm thinking kind of a teal for that one possibly, to keep it green, but add a little bit of tie-dye kind of pattern, maybe a little bit of like just loose texture all over the thing, and bring in a few more blue tones so that I can actually wear it. And and look good. Now this scarf is a fun one. I did thrift this one actually a while ago. It is silk. It's that fun kind of like scrunchy texture. Silk takes dye really, really, really well. And I'm thinking this could turn into something really pretty. Yeah, so so many possibilities here, you guys. Let me get out the dye and we'll see what we're working with. Well, here are the color choices that I got today. I have to say, it was really hard to pick at the craft store. There were so many good ones. I have used denim blue before. I really like it. It is kind of a grayish blue, almost gives kind of indigo vibes. I like the teal for kind of cooling down other greens because this one is a very blue tone. So I think it will help with the olive green shirt. I haven't actually used violet before. So, man, this is kind of fun. Very warm tone purple, so that will be a new one for me. And then, of course, I've got the dye fixative, which is like a last step for our garments. So I've been cleaning up my kitchen. Our next step after we tie up the garments will be to fill up the sink, whole bunch of hot water. Sometimes the package directions recommend adding some extra things depending on the type of fiber you're working with. I'm working with cotton, so I will probably be adding some salt to the dye bath as well, depending on how much salt I have. This is a reoccurring problem. I always run out of salt right when I'm tie-dyeing. So if I have some salt, I'm going to be adding salt to the water, adding dye to the water. I'm just doing this in my sink. And then I'm going to put the garments in the dye. And then I'll stir them around. I'm going to let them sit for, gosh, at least 20 to 30 minutes, you know, checking on them to see if I like the color, if I want them darker or lighter. And then once the color looks the way I want it, and it seems like most of the garments have, you know, gotten dye on them, then I will rinse them out. And then I'll make up a big sink full of water and then color fixative. Put those dyed garments in that big sink full of fixative and let them soak for, how long? Consulting the package directions. I will let them sit for as long as the package directions recommend. And then we'll rinse out the garments finally and be able to launder them. So that's kind of the dyeing process. I'm going to grab some rubber bands and things and let's tie up these garments and get them ready. Okay, time to do the tying part of the dyeing project. Now, I think I'm going to keep things really, really basic for this one. I think with the scarf, I'm going to try to kind of keep it twisted so that it doesn't lose its twisty shape. I think with the gray dress, I'm just going to put it right in the dye as is because I don't want much of a pattern. And then with the green dress, I'm just going to scrunch it up a little bit. Let's switch over to time lapse and show you what I'm talking about. Welcome to my kitchen laboratory. We are prepping the surfaces with some old towels for drop cloths. I'm wearing some old clothes as well. And then of course I've got my station set up over here. You definitely want to wear gloves. Just just do it. Learn from my mistakes. No, I don't quite have enough salt. So also buy more salt if you're going to be doing this with cotton fabrics. We've got our dyes ready to go. I always like to have paper towel and some cleaning supplies ready because you want to clean up spills if they happen right away. This stuff is actually really great for getting spots off like the countertop or the stainless steel sink. All right, next I gotta fill up the sink with a whole bunch of hot water and start our first vat of dye. I'm also dyeing a few other items today as well, so I've got to get those all prepped up and we can get started. Oh my word, you guys, it's been about 10 minutes and the silk scarf is looking very dark. So I think we're gonna take that out early. I have some of these other things that are gonna need to stay in there a little longer, but silk takes dye really well, so let me show you. Oh my word, it's almost maroon. Okay, it's got some color variation in there. Okay. Hopefully it's not too much variation. Okay. Let's take it out and see. Ooh. That's kind of cool. Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh, I think this is going to look really cool dry. It's a little hard to see, but I do see like dark patches and lighter patches. And then I think once it's dry and it's like kind of the wrinkly dry pattern that the scarf does, I think it's going to look really cool. I'm glad we took it out when we did. I didn't want it much darker than this, but I think this is going to look awesome. Whoa. Okay, so I'm going to let this guy sit until these guys are done, and then I need my fixative. Let that sit in a sink of hot water with fixative for about 20 minutes. Then I will be able to launder the other garments. Obviously, I think I'm just going to wash this guy out with a little bit of soap and drip dry him. And then the process is going to be basically the same for the teal as well. Got to make up a sink, add a whole bunch of teal. I'll be dyeing a few other pieces as well today and pop those in there. And then I think I may end up using the denim blue for the dress. I've made up my mind. I might have to do that on a separate day, but that's the process. Teal next, then denim blue, and I think it's gonna be fun. Here we go. Okay, you guys, so here is what the scarf and the dress look like after they've been dried and washed and all new color things happening. First of all, can we just take a moment to recognize the scarf? I mean, look, it's like got this swirly, purpley, mauvey thing going on. I am loving like the lighter patches and then the darker patches. I feel like tie-dye works really well with this texture of scarf because it looks super flowy. Man, this is really fun. And of course the silk took the dye really quickly. I had to pull this one out early to make sure it didn't get too dark. But man, okay. Scarf for the win. Okay, now let's talk dress a little bit. Okay, can you see a little bit of that tie-dye pattern in there? There's a little bit more on like the sleeves and of course the bottom of the dress. You can see a little bit more there. But I gotta say, I don't think this teal dye was quite as intense as, say, the violet that I used on the scarf. I feel like this dye is a little bit more of like a lighter color, maybe more of like a pastel. And it just, I mean, it shows up. You can kind of see it there, but it just wasn't dark enough to really compete with the olive green underneath. And I think I tied it up maybe a little bit too tight as well, because you can see like in the middle, there's not much dye happening as well. So this one isn't quite as blue toned as I was hoping. It definitely still has a lot of olive green. Now it kind of has like an army green vibe to it. I was definitely hoping to cool that green a bit more. So not a total win yet, but I am thinking, why don't I dye it again? I might even put it in the same batch as the gray dress, because remember I wanted to do that one denim blue. Maybe I'll just put this in like a denim blue and kind of wash it into kind of a navy gray zone to cool down that green even further. I don't know. I don't know what that would look like. Of course, I could try dyeing it a darker green as well. I know sometimes the forest green, in my experience with the RIT dye, has skewed a little bit olive, so I don't know if that's the way to go. I might actually try it with the blue. Just kind of wad it up loosely and put it in there. I don't know. If at first you don't succeed, people, dye again. I need that on a shirt. Well, I'm actually literally going to have it on a shirt here, actually, when we're done. Okay, let's move on to our next dye. We're going to do the same process with the navy dye, the gray dress, and this green dress, and then I'll show you what they look like when we're done. Well, you guys, here are the dresses. I dyed them, I washed them and dried them, and here are the results. Wow, this was a little different than I expected. My goodness, the denim blue is really showing its gray undertones. I mean, the gray dress is definitely like a bluish tint, like a navyish tint, but it's still really dark. It's like a, I don't know, slightly bluish gray. And then, oh my word, look at the dress. I thought we'd get a little more blue showing through, and man, it's almost like a grayish black that kind of happened over the dress. I mean, it is a cool tone. Like if you hold this up to black, you can tell it's not black, but that's different. Wow. Okay, that is definitely different than what I was expecting for these guys. I was hoping for some colors that were a little lighter, you know, going into spring, summer and stuff, but hey, you never know how it's going to work, right? And, you know, this is kind of cool. It's different than what I was going for. I think if I wanted to turn this one a little greener, bluer, maybe I could have used like a turquoise over dye. That might have been kind of the better part of valor if I was still trying to keep it greenish. But you know what? I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to try wearing these. I think I'm really going to enjoy it, actually. I do have a lot of really bright colors in my wardrobe, and some days I just want something, you know, still fun, but a little more low-key and not quite as attention-grabbing and all those good things. So, you know what? I think I'm going to have fun wearing these. As always with tie-dye, you never know exactly what's going to happen, and you just got to have fun with the process and roll with the randomness, and whatever happens, happens. Just enjoy it. Have fun with it, you guys. Well, I'm going to try putting some of these things on. I got to grab the scarf as well. I want to wear these, take some pictures. While I do that, hey, hit that like button if you can get behind Thrift Flips and all things crazy tie-dye, and consider subscribing for more wild and crazy, unpredictable stuff from Partners in Craft. You never know what we're going to be up to around here next. So I will see you guys later. Hope you are all well and staying crafty, and I will show you what these look like when I'm all ready.